Hey, thanks for stopping by the channel. In this video, we're going to be going through some SQL injection, some file upload, how to change the file as we send it through a burp, and then also we're going to be looking at command injection. So if you would like to follow along with this video, I'm going to be using Hack the Box, and we're going to be using the retired machine called Usage. So enough with the introduction, let's go ahead and jump into the box. If we come over here, pretty typical. You can start your Nmap scan. The IP address is 18. I'm not actually going to run the full Nmap scan because all we have open is port 22 and we have port 80. And anytime you see port 22, you can just assume you're not getting in that way. So port 80 is the way in, and because it is a web server, we can go ahead and add into the Etsy host. That is not right. We can go ahead and add into the Etsy host file. We're going to have to sudo, and it's etc, and you can add it in right here if you want to follow along. I have already added it in. So I have already brought up the page, and if we go to some of these pages and we want to like register an email, and we'll just call it test at gmail.com, and password 123, and we'll just register, and then we can say test at gmail.com, password 123, and we can log in, and we get logged in here, and you just see this page. If we wanted to, we could come in and inspect. We could come over and grab the storage and take the cookies from the session, or I guess we could just catch it over here. Grab the session cookies, could go over to some kind of fuzzer if we wanted to, and we could try to fuzz this right here. I think this actual machine is rate limiting. It rate limits you, so I wouldn't go ahead and run fuff. I did that the first time I tried to go through this box. I ran fuff and I ran into some problems, so I wouldn't recommend going that route. So I think the next thing we can do is we can log out, and you can check for SQL injection because that's what we're going to do. So I'm not going to have you watch me try to do all the different things or read through what's here on the page source. So one thing also, if you were going to go ahead and try to run some kind of fuzzer, I like to index dot like HTML, or you can try index dot PHP, and if you just run fuff itself, you come back with a PHP page, so you would find out pretty quickly that it's PHP. So if you ran fuff, you could run a -x PHP like that for the PHP extension. So let's go ahead and check out the password reset. This is actually where the vulnerability is going to be. So if you came in here and you just type in test with a single quote, you find we get this server error, which means we're going to have SQL injection. So with SQL injection, you can try to do this manually and take a long time to try and figure it out. I think if we run this with a hash or with the --, I think we actually will be able to get back a positive page, so it doesn't actually crash it. So you can run it with the hash or the --, space dash, to comment everything out inside of the SQL statement. So if you wanted to, you could try to do this that way, or you could just type in test and we can intercept this, and we can use SQL map. So we would save this item. We'll just save it to the desktop, sql.txt, and save that to our desktop. We're going to use the email parameter or tag inside SQL maps. If we come over and we just clear SQL map, and we'd use the request sql.txt, and we wanted to use that email parameter, and we would say we can use level 5 and risk 3, and you would never do this in the real world because you might actually crash something, but we're not in the real world, and we'll use a --batch, which just means we don't want it asking us yes/no questions because we don't want to respond. We just want to go through and run yes for everything. So we could go ahead and run this, I believe is right. See how it just answers the questions automatically. Would you like to follow? Yes. Would you like this? Yes. And it's going to go through and run it. And it's using the email parameter because that is what we put in right here. So I'm going to go ahead and let this run. Okay, so it tells us that the backend is MySQL, which we already know. So let's, I think it's -dbs. I think that'll bring back the databases for us. So it's going to go ahead and grab the database names, and then we'll actually tell it which one we want to attack. We probably should have just ran this the first time, and then I wouldn't have had to run it this time. So this time we're going to grab the databases, and then the next time we'll actually put in the table that we want to get the information from. It should pull down for us emails, usernames, and passwords. Okay, so that has finished running. You can see we have the information schema, which is just default. This one, which, I mean, we could try to attack. It's not a default database, but then we have this one right here, which I'm going to guess is the one we want to attack. So now we just come up here and we just type -- dump, and then we paste in usage blog, and this should pull down for us all of the usernames, emails, and passwords. So you can see right here, it's going after the usage database. So, and I think the way we'll let this run, and I'll bring you back whenever we actually have the information we need. I think it'll grab the administrator at the beginning. You can actually see right here, it's grabbing the admin, and then it should grab the admin hash in just a minute, and then we don't actually have to wait for this whole entire SQL map to run before we can just go ahead and start looking for ways to crack this hash and actually log in. Okay, so this is still running. I actually think what we'll do is we'll just grab this table and potentially this table and run these one at a time. So we want to dump the usage blog still, but we want to add a table, and we're just going to say users. I think that is what it was called. So now we're going to run just users, and then I also, if that doesn't pull down what we want, we'll run the admin users right here and see if we can get admin users. But first we'll just see what users come back, and then if we can get the admin user, because that is what we're after. Okay, so this has been running for a while, so I actually went ahead and ran SQL map with the admin users so we don't have to wait. Let's go ahead and just, I guess, let this run. But for now, we actually have a hash right here. So what we could do, so when the time comes and we're ready with the admin hash, is we can already know how to run SQL. For some reason, my computer is not liking running through burp, so we can come over here and run this, and we'll be able to find out what kind of hash we have. I guess that's the actual box. Let's just go ahead, delete all the way back to here, and we're going to see what kind of hash we have. Should be able to just type in hashcat. So we have blowfish right here, so we can bcrypt. So this is the hash we have. I think if we just open up a new tab, let's actually see if this is made there. We're finally getting the administrator. It was inside the administrator hash. So if we open up a new tab, we should be able to make this bigger and cd over to desktop, gedit, and we could just say hash.txt, paste in that hash. We could run hashcat on this, hashcat hash.txt, and then I think it's going to be user share. I actually don't know if I have rocku.text on this box, so let me just go locate rocku. Actually, we'll just leave it like that. I'm pretty sure rocku needs to be unzipped. So we can just use gunzip and we can unzip that. Sudo. And now I think that should be unzipped. Now if we locate rocku.txt, it should be there. So now we should be able to go hashcat hash.txt, and it's user share wordless rocku.txt. And it'll either auto detect or it's going to tell us we need to run bcrypt right here, and we have our 2* right here at the beginning. So we should be able to come back, type -m 3200, and that should run hashcat on that specific hash. If we don't find that answer, if we're not able to crack that hash in time, I'm going to close it, and here's the hash we actually want to be crashing. And that is finished cracking. And while that is running, what we can do is we can come over here and turn the interceptor on. And you can see up here the CPU went down, which I bet this is cracked, which is why the usage has gone down. Right here's the password for the admin user. So if we come over here, or we try to come over to the admin panel, we're going to need to add the admin.usage subdomain. So while that is thinking, right here, this is what we need to add to our Etsy host file. So we can come over here, sudo gedit Etsy host, add that in right there. Let's see, let's go ahead and turn that off. Let's try this again. And we should be able to grab this right here, copy. Let's see if we come in here and we type in admin. So we have our admin user. Hopefully we can get logged in. And anytime you see Laravel, that is something to look at. So if you just copy this and we come out to the interwebs, we can look right here, code execution. We could come down to the proof of concept. And if we scroll down, we see that the vulnerability is inside this upload right here. So we no longer need that. So if we come over to the administrator, go to our settings, this will take us to this upload. We can try this two separate ways. We can try to just upload a web shell directly. So if we just locate .jpg, we can just grab this one right here and we'll just copy it. I knew that was going to happen. We will copy to current working directory, and it's just jpg.svg. So that's not what we want. We want locate .jpg. So now we'll just grab, I guess we'll grab this one. Actually, we'll just grab sample jpg. Copy to present working directory. Make sure it's here. We'll remove this one. And we could just come right here and browse. Actually, we don't even need to upload that, I don't think. We could intercept this, put that in there, say okay. That was not the one we wanted, but intercept is on, submit. Should be able to come down here and just put in shell.php. Glad there wasn't a lot here for us to delete. And let's see if I can get this first try. So PHP system $_ and we want to get CMD. If this doesn't work, we're going to have to go out to Google to grab what we need for a web shell. Okay, let's give that a shot. Forward. It looks like it did not work, otherwise it would have popped up with success over here. So let's come to Google and type in PHP web shell, and let's get a simple web shell. Usually I like to use Shushan, so actually let's go back right here, Shushan 747. Let's grab this one right here. It looks like I forgot this colon right here inside of mine. So let's come back over here. Let's just gedit shell.php .jpg just so we can bypass the filter. Paste that in there. Save. Let's browse this. Open. Make sure proxy is on. Come down here and just delete the JPG. And we're told that it uploaded successfully. So now if we open this in a new tab, we have shell.php cmd equals id, and we now have code execution on this box. So there we are. We're going to stop right there. We're not actually going to send over a web shell, but if you wanted to use your web shell, you could use it to get reverse code execution here inside of a shell. But we're going to go ahead and stop here because at this point we have reached the end of our line in the world of bug bounty or some kind of website penetration testing. I guess if you were pen testing, you'd probably go ahead and get a shell. But for the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and stop here. If you have any questions, please let me know down below. If there's anything you would like to see in the future, please let me know. Thanks for watching.